The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, because you can be watching this at any time of the day. It is your fave duo from out here, Ryan D from Healthy Ham and
Dwayne from the Networks program. What's good, y'all?
Okay, we is back with another one. Okay, how you feeling today, Carlos?
I'm feeling good, y'all. Like, I woke up on the right side of the bread, okay?
Okay, bread.
Everybody keeps telling me I'm a money magnet. You know, I just keep getting booked for things. It's just checks coming in, flows coming in, love life coming in. It's
okay, love life.
It's all good in the hood over here.
Ooh.
You know, it doesn't come without its issues, but you know, we making to do what to do over here. Okay, melanin still popping.
I'm screaming.
So what we getting into today?
How am I today, co-host? Oh, gee.
Y'all know, low key, since he be kicking it off, I be thinking that he's gonna just, you know, be like, I'm feeling good today. But they don't be having it like that. But anyway, go ahead.
But
how are you feeling today, Mr. Ryan, co-host extraordinaire?
I'm feeling okay.
You got the tattoo. You got the skin out.
I do. I can't show my nails, y'all. Like last time y'all saw my nails, it was nice, but now I done broke a nail playing bowling. I was drunk bowling, y'all, so a nail broke off and the freaking ball. So it's kind of making me feel like, you know, because when you feel off, you know, when you don't have everything together, it's like I feel off. Like when you don't have jewelry, I feel naked. That's, you know.
Okay, Nikki.
So exactly. So it's a day, but I'm excited for this, you know, this episode. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. And I just want to thank, you know, Pyro Media Network, the CDC for bringing the Munty Hunty, and APLA Health for bringing us here every week to you, your fave, you well, your chocolate, you well, we here, what's good?
Yo, Miley, what's good?
Thank you, child. The ghetto, child. I hate to see it. But nevertheless, let's get into what we do here. So, you guys know me, Ryan, from Healthy Him. Ooh, nails are cute. Healthy Him. I oversee the initiative Swab and Chill, an at-home HIV test kit that we send to people who want to know their status in the comfort of their own home and don't want to come to a clinic. So if you don't want to do that, and you're like, let me do it in the comfort of my own home and get a quick $25, you get a quick $25 when you do it. So you just get an easy $25 and boom, it's done. If you want to do that, call us at 323-329-9285 or 9713. Either one, it connects to me, child. Okay, but you can also email, and it's gonna all be here eventually. But you can also email at swabandchill@apla.org. Okay, we also offer for those who know their status linkage to care. If you know your status and you're like, I'm positive, but I don't have any access or resources to get
I don't got my meds. I don't have no food. I don't know any of the resources. I just moved here from Albuquerque.
Okay, and we can link you to all the things that you need here in Los Angeles County. Only Los Angeles County. I mean, we can refer you to somebody outside Los Angeles County, but we deal with people primarily in Los Angeles County. So yeah,
you know, but we have good services. So if you want to make the trip,
that part, and we'll be here. And we have our Healthy Him checklist. Healthy Him checklist is when you get an STI test, an HIV test, and you get $50 for doing the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you get a little, you know, we talk about PrEP and getting on PrEP, and you get your, you know, STI testing. You do a full panel, so it's syphilis, chlamydia, and gonorrhea. You get tested for all three, okay? And then you get HIV tests, and that's a full panel. And then you're like, boom, you swab your mouth, you pee in a cup, and you swab your booty hole if you want to swab your booty hole, but you don't got to.
You don't got to swab your booty hole.
You don't. But if you want to, you can.
You swab your throat too.
Okay. And then you get, but it's 2 different swabs. You're doing the same one. Okay. But yeah, and then you $50. Boom, just like that. But we also have something special coming up, but I'm not gonna announce it until next week, so I'll wait for y'all to get into that. Yeah, what's going on out here clinic?
Okay, so period. So here at the Out Here Clinic, we have our networks program where we are testing anybody 18 and up. Okay, Black and brown people of color. Okay, men, women, college students, you name it, we test it. Okay, so come see me at the Baldwin Hills location. I'll prick your finger and get you a nice little incentive. And then also, if you, I can sign you up for a full panel STI test as well. Okay. So if you are above the age of 39, okay, and you still looking fine, come see me.
So what we do on Tuesdays?
On Tuesdays?
Yes. What's happening on Tuesdays?
What the day is?
Tuesday.
Hey! So we do our hip hop dance class, also taught by me. Okay, look, I just be doing everything here, y'all. Okay, with the support of Ryan.
Okay,
but hip hop class 6:30 to 8. Okay, we be getting down, getting up. All right, so get that heart rate up, get that sweat going. Okay, and have some fun, burning some calories with me.
Okay. And Thursday we have BQT, Black Queer Talks. We talk about love, sex, relationships, and all things in between. So we have all our Black queer men come to a platonic space, a sex positive, safe platonic space. But you can make it whatever you want, to be honest. And recently we had a good turnout, and it was a good conversation. We've been talking about pride and like what pride means to people and the history of it, and also just like their experiences and why people are marketing off of us and how they feel about it. It's just been getting real deep and good. And
it gets very much last episode tease.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
If y'all go back to the last episode, you'll see it.
Oh yes, that's what you meant. Okay, yes. But yes, our last episode is for your pride. So be who you are for your pride. Okay. So hopefully everybody's enjoying their pride this June. Be yourself. We're ourselves every day. Okay. But specifically this month is all about us. And we have so many intersectionalities, being Black and gay. So we should enjoy ourselves. But today we have a special guest that we're going to bring in who has another identity that we want to talk about and get to know them. So can we bring in our guest, please?
Yo, bring them on. Bring them in.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Come on. It's the skin for me. It's the hair for me. It's the smile for me. It's everything for me. Come on. How are you, Lamont?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
We're living.
I'm doing good. We better now that you're here, okay? Shoot. For those of y'all who don't know, we had Lamont on an episode a couple of months back.
Yes.
And he's back again.
Okay. When the category was bald. Okay. Yes, come on. But this episode is called Black, Male, Queer, and On the Field. Okay.
Ooh.
It's the extra identity for me. It's the identity for me. So we're gonna get into Lamont and you being an athlete. We don't talk about Black, queer, male athletes that often. So I want to really get to know you, and let's just tell us, who is Lamont Denson?
Okay. Well, Lamont Denson is me, obviously, but but he is also a very proud, intelligent, loving, encouraging, courageous, and just outgoing person. I know I probably said outgoing already, but just everything all together. I love animals. I love music. I love to dance. I love nature, hiking, things of that sort, I guess you could say. I love family. I'm a very family-oriented person. And yeah.
Okay, so what sports did you play? And
for myself, I played baseball, professional baseball at that.
Okay.
And how was it like playing it professional?
Well, Playing professional sports was definitely an eye opener, but also a dream that came true, especially for my younger self at the time. That's all I ever knew. That's all I ever dreamed about. That's all I ever trained for. Say that again.
You're good.
Oh, that's all I ever dreamed about. That's all I ever wanted for my life. And I worked blood, sweat, and tears into building my career and building my craft. Um, and along the road, I definitely found myself in a soul search of exactly who I was between my identity and my career. So that was definitely where I say the eye opener came in for myself and also my life's journey.
Okay, so I had to do like a little, Wikipedia search when you requested it. I saw you was famous, little kid. I was like, okay,
Come
hold
on,
on.
Nikki.
So, how was it like playing in the minor leagues growing up? I heard you played in the minor leagues.
Yes.
Okay, how
That was a total different atmosphere, I guess you could say.
okay.
For myself, I was drafted out of high school.
Ooh.
So 2 days after graduation, I was out on the road, freshly 18, living with guys between 25 to 30 years old, and kind of just, thrown out thrown out to the wolves, I guess you can say. But it definitely taught me a lot of life lessons, made a lot of genuine connections with people, learned a lot of professionalism and a lot of just how to interact with people in a professional setting, especially how you carry yourself. And when all eyes are on you, you definitely want to carry yourself a certain way, especially when you've done everything you can to build yourself for that craft.
I feel that. Okay, come on. So, what exactly is your sexual orientation for the people to know, and how did you come to terms with that?
Well, my sexual orientation, I am gay, 1000%. And for me, it was definitely a road of triumphs and a road of a lot of tears. Um, for myself, growing up, I grew up in a very strong Christian household. So for me, talks of anything outside the fact of, being gay or the LGBTQIA plus community, it wasn't accepted in my household. And I lived a life where I was seen as the sports child in the family, and I knew that that was always going to conflict with my true identity. Um, it wasn't until I was actually out on the road playing professional baseball, living that life, and seeing that I was living a double life where I really had to come to terms with, am I going to continue hiding behind this facade and making everybody else happy while secretly I'm hurting inside? Or am I going to take that step for myself to be true to myself, and whatever happens along the way is just going to happen along the way? And that honestly and truthfully was a decision that I had to come to. There were other things along the road that played into that factor, but throughout the years, obviously, it wasn't when I was playing that I found out, like, oh, I'm gay. I've known my whole life. So that was weight lifted off of my shoulders, but also at the same time, a lot of stress on my heart, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So like when you did so to speak, come out, were your teammates like supportive or unsupportive of like your sexuality and your decision to do so?
Well, crazy in the fact of how it came out. It actually came out, I technically outed myself by accident, and it came out in an argument in the locker room. Um, One of my teammates was joking around jokingly about the fact of people being gay and other people, living their life and so on and so forth. And he was going around the locker room joking around with other teammates. And I was sitting in my locker by myself, listening to my headphones, getting ready for the game. And just as I took off my headphones to put on my uniform, he comes my way and he says the same thing to me. And I said, be careful because you never know. Just lashing out. And I pretty much outed myself in that way, because in the joke of what he was saying was pertaining to the fact of calling somebody gay. It's a Spanish term for calling somebody gay. It means the word is maricon, and which means the fact of somebody calling somebody gay, or in layman's terms, the F word that we don't really like to talk about in our community.
Like bossy boy, like Jamaicans be saying. Is that similar?
It's the derogatory term, the F word,
Yeah.
the you know what I mean, within our community.
Gotcha.
And just out of so much that was built up, I was in a relationship that was secretive. I was secretive to my family. I was secretive to the news, to networks. I was secretive to everybody. But outside of that, I had a relationship and so on and so forth. So when that was said, everything just kind of boiled to the top, and I lashed out, and it came out. But when that happened, I actually had a group of my teammates actually stand up, and they hugged me, and they told me, we know, we've known ever since we met you. We've just been waiting for you to be comfortable enough to be in your own skin, And on the opposite side, I also had teammates that weren't okay with it. I had teammates who, didn't want to step into the shower if I was in there. I had teammates who would come up to me and tell me, I respect you for, being a person, but in my religion, that's not accepted. So, turn yourself over to God and change your ways, and, you will be forgiven. And it's like, I grew up in a Christian household. I have my own relationship with God. I've always had my own relationship with God. That's never going to change. But in layman's terms, it definitely opened a lot of my teammates' eyes, because before that, I was very introverted. I didn't go out. I didn't really go out and hang out with my teammates, go to dinner, go to bars, just go do what, regular guys do. And it wasn't until after that my teammates started to force me out of my room, like inviting me, wanting me to go, because now they seen why I wasn't going out, or why I wasn't connecting with people, because I couldn't. I didn't know how to connect with them. So, yeah.
So how was the family spectrum of that whole situation? Like, how did your family take it, as far as like finding out and supporting you still while you're on the field?
That was definitely a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because like I said before, I grew up in a strong Christian household.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. My family always supported me for, being their son. They always loved me. I never questioned that, and that was never a question in my eyes. But definitely establishing a relationship, especially with my father, who at first he didn't accept it. He was very turned off by the situation. The only thing he ever really wanted to talk about was baseball, especially after that fact, because I feel like that was the connection to his son, who he knew before that information came out. And for me, it was, just because that information came out doesn't mean it changes who I am. I'm still the same person. And it was a lot of, conversations about my career, conversations about how my career can change, conversations about, where my journey is going to be leading forward. Because literally, when I say all I've ever known at that time was baseball, from age 3 all the way up till 20, that's all I ever did. I never played any other sport. I never did anything else. From the age of 13, I was already getting scouted. So it was my life. That's every weekend, training, tournaments, sporting events. Like, that's all I ever had to do. So that was definitely a change, because it's like, on one note, they're learning to accept it, or sorry, they're learning to respect it. But also on the other note, this is my child. I don't want nobody hurting my child, coming at my child a certain kind of way. So I know a part of their reaction was because they wanted to protect me, but also another part of the reaction was literally trying to come to terms with what was just said. And On the other note, my mother was very supportive. My mom is my best friend, always has been, always will be. And she always had my back. It was definitely more the factor of my father, who I love to death. And I will say, even when I did the interviews back then, the biggest thing that I said was, I'm not afraid of the world finding out. I was afraid of my father finding out.
Mm.
So that just shows how much weight he really carried in my life.
Wow. Okay. Well, you said that you always knew baseball, and since 3, which is crazy to me because was it your father that ingrained it in you, or was it like, did you see a game and was like, I love this? Did he buy you a toy? Like, what was it? Because when I see you, I see football player. I was like, he's a football player, like, period. Like,
You
okay.
know, that's crazy though, because like I see baseball. I definitely see baseball, but maybe that's because like
You know him.
yeah, well, yeah.
Actually, just to piggyback off that, I get football a lot. I get told I look like a football player a lot. But actually, it was my mother who ingrained baseball into me. Growing up, I grew up around my mother's side of the family. When I was around my mother's side of the family, that was a baseball dominant family. So all my cousins played baseball. My mom played softball. Cousins played softball. Growing up, my mother was scouted for the U.S. Olympic team for softball. Okay. So it was something that was just natural to me. And the reason why I say 3 years old was because at 3 years old, I was taken to the field, and I think I was watching probably one of my cousins play or something, and I naturally just picked up the ball, picked up the bat. And obviously, you seeing a 3-year-old pick up a bat and just swing it like it's nothing is like, okay. And ever since then, I just stood with it, and it just came natural. It was something that was very, very natural for me.
I love that. Okay, come on. Well, I want to know, for clarification purposes, what is your ethnicity for the people so they know?
Period.
You like a lot of stuff.
Yes. Black, Mexican Indian, and Samoan.
Say the last one?
Samoan, okay.
Oh, like Moana. Is that Moana?
I'm done.
I was like, wasn't she like Hawaiian?
How is different? Educate me, please. I love education.
I was like, what? Because people, honestly, I know that people do get like Samoans and Hawaiians confused just because I feel like it's mostly because of like the skin tone. But like, what?
And the hair texture.
Educate us, friend.
Yes, please educate
us. You have your Hawaii. So on the islands, you have Hawaii. You have your Hawaiians. You have Samoa. You have your Samoans. You have Tonga. And then you have your Tongans. And then you also have the Philippines, where you have your Filipinos.
Okay. This is new information for me. Okay. Okay. Love to see it. Well, we're going to go into a quick commercial break because, you know, it's about that time. We'll be right back after this.
Are you in need of a quick and easy way to know your HIV status? Swab and Chill is a discreet way to learn your status in the comfort of your own home. The process gives you results in 20 minutes. Swab the upper gums, swab the lower gums, and voila! Simply follow the colorful step-by-step instructions located inside the kit. Or call APLA and we can assist you virtually. In addition, all kits include condoms and lube for that penetrative fun. For our trans clients, we have Swab and Chill Plus, a customizable kit for trans-specific needs. And we haven't forgotten about COVID either. All kits include personal protection gear, like face masks, comfortable yet stylish. a personal touch tool for dealing with those germ-infested handles and ATM keypads. Wet wipes for those little messes that need cleaning up. Also, keep that summer body protected with Swab and Chill sunscreen. And don't forget about our fanny packs for those quick trips to the store. All this can be yours. Simply call Swab and Chill at 323-329-9713 or email us at swabandchill@apla.org. We would love for you to be part of our Swab and Chill family.
Come swab and chill with us!
And we is back. Fix it for us, please.
Ooh, okay, look, he got an entrance and everything.
Yes, the reveal. It's a reveal for me. Da, 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 da. So we are back and we are here with Lamont. We are talking about being a black male queer
and
on
the field.
Okay. Come on. It was the in sync for me. No Justin.
Do you ever wonder why? Okay, but so Lamont.
Yes.
Friend. What was the hardest part about being a black queer and in sports?
The hardest part for me was definitely coming to terms with the fact of the label that was put on myself. Once it came out, it was no longer me just being a baseball player, I guess you can say. And just to clear it up, my first name is David. So playing, it was no longer David the baseball player. And I go by Lamont, which is my middle name, in respects to my father, because at that time, I ended up finding out that my father had stage 4 cancer. So I started going by my middle name to show respect towards my father. But coming out, it was no longer David the baseball player. It was David the gay baseball player and everything that came along with that. No longer was I looked at for my talent or for what I was doing on the field. It was more, what attention am I bringing to myself? Don't take away from your time on the field, or don't take away attention from your sport. And it's like all I was focusing on was playing, while everybody else was focused on the label. And I definitely feel like that changed a lot of my career path, because especially after it came out, after it came out that I was gay, I started slowly but surely losing my endorsements, losing my money flow, losing my playing time. And definitely that makes you look at yourself, because beforehand, before ever coming out, I had already set records. I had already broke records. I had already done things for myself to set myself up for the career that I had. It wasn't that I was there just wasting time or just taking up space. I was actually on the roster to have a career for myself. And once that came out, it was like none of that mattered anymore. I was seen as just a hand-me-down or a secondary. And that definitely made me feel like I was disposable. I wasn't valuable anymore, off the simple fact of being who I was, or being who I am. Sorry.
Yeah. So do you feel like, if you could not take it all back, but if you could have not outed yourself so quickly, maybe, do you think you would have went back and okay, let me not tell people.
No.
Okay. So you don't regret doing it? That's
not
good.
At all.
That's great. That's great. A lot of people be like, yeah, I would go back and be like, I would have waited a little longer so I can get some more money first, get some more endorsements, and then, that's good.
Well,
it's sorry.
No,
Me, it's different because it was never about the money for me.
Mm.
I literally had a deep passion for baseball. The money was great. That, you know, definitely we all enjoy a little bit of coin in our pocket, but to say that that was the end all be all, that wasn't the situation. I was definitely at a crossroads for myself. I was at a crossroads, like I said, of living a double life, and honestly and truthfully, you know, if I even wanted to be here anymore, because I couldn't be myself. I couldn't express myself. I couldn't be anything else other than this box that I was already put in. And like I said, living a double life to my friends and my relationships and all that, I was David, truly who I was. But to the world and to my family and to my career, I was David, the baseball player. And that was that. So when you live a life where in professional sports, you're gone away from home 10, 11 months out of the year. You come back home. You're only there for a short amount of time. Then you go back. You live with these people. You grow with these people. You have dinner with these people. You travel the U.S. or the world with these people. They become your second family. Mm-hmm. So when you hear about them, oh, my wife is coming in. My girlfriend is coming in. My family's coming in. We're going to go to dinner. We're going to be able to go out. After a while, that all builds up because it's like, well, I can't have my significant other there. I can't be freely open to my family. I can't do those things. So when you're trying to relate and you can't, after a while, you just put yourself in, like, back in the closet, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep, essentially.
So on the positive spectrum, what do you feel like are the best parts, or were the best parts about being a Black queer athlete?
I got to be myself. I got to show the world that just because of my sexuality, that has nothing to do with my abilities. That has nothing to do with how you perform or what you bring to the table. And you don't go to sporting events or music events or dance events or any type of event and say, oh, they're good because they're straight, or they're great at their job because they're straight. No, they're good because they're good. They're great at their job because they're great. And I feel, especially at that time back in 2015, 2014, 2016, we were nowhere near where we are now as far as the inclusion and the openness. We have a long way to go. Okay. Definitely have a long way to go, but we were nowhere near where we are now. And the best part of that as well is when I came out, I made history as the first openly gay professional baseball player to be affiliated with the team. So no matter what anybody tried to take away from me, God had a bigger plan for me, because that was able to open up doors for other generations that had come and to come, that it's all about your ability. Now, how people react to it and what they decide to do with that information, I feel like that's where we need to step in and be more vocal, where people should feel like if you are feeling, and I mean genuinely, I'm not saying for a headline, I'm not saying for attention, I'm saying genuinely, if you are doing your career to your best ability and you feel like you are being shysted out of something simply based off of your sexuality, speak up.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it sounds like although there were some cons to, like, you know, coming out in the professional sports industry, there were some pros. But did your race ever have any issues? Like, did your teammates ever have any issues with your race or anything like that?
Not particularly my race. I wouldn't say it was a direct derivative of, we have an issue with you because you're Black. It's a culture shock. When you play with teams, or when you play with a professional team, you have guys coming from all around the world. You have guys coming from Cuba, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. You have people who come from, you know, Texas, Oklahoma, North Carolina. Like, so when you have your, you know, your Cali boy from California, LA, then you have your cowboy with the cowboy boots, cowboy hat, you know, coming from where they come from. And then you have your Puerto Rican coming in with, bumping his Puerto Rican music, like it's a big culture shock, and it's definitely a melting pot where you have two options. Either you get with the program and you are open and inviting to understanding people's cultures and backgrounds, or to be honest, you just come off as an a-hole if you just don't generally want to get to know other people. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good, because that's part of the intersectionality portion. I wanted to get the perspective of if they were concerned, or whoever was concerned had an issue with your sexuality, did they also have an issue with your ethnicity/race? So that's good to know that like everybody was just chilling. I love that.
Of course.
Because it's such an international sport like soccer or football.
That's true. That is true.
A lot of people really do enjoy like baseball. I mean, I enjoy playing it more than watching it, but so Lamont, what advice would you give to a young Black queer boy looking to play sports but is too afraid? Be it to try or to be outed.
I would definitely say first and foremost, love yourself. Love yourself for who you are, and don't let this world break you down simply off of something that they decide that they don't want to get to understand, or they don't want to respect.
I need a yes in there because I was just like, yes. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Something that they don't want to understand, or something that they don't want to respect, and something that I am very big on, and something that has stuck with myself is
authenticity.
I don't expect people. I'm gonna go off my narrative. Whether you're straight, gay, lesbian, transgender, whatever it is, in my perspective for myself, I'm not looking for you to accept me. I'm looking for you to respect me as a person, as a human being. And I feel like we have this concept of acceptance and respect. You can be straight, and I don't have to accept what you do. Right. But I respect you as a person. Mm-hmm. And I would tell, especially if I'm looking at a younger Black queer youth athlete who's coming into this world, I will let them know, I love you. I love you simply just for being you. And a lot more people need to hear that. A lot more people need to hear the fact being that they're loved for being who they are. And this world is tough. This world, people are going to try to break you down. They're going to try to make you think and fit their narrative of their perspective onto you. Find your outlet. Find your tribe. Find the people that you can feel like you can be yourself with, and go with that. Because at the end of the day, when you live with this narrative of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, sooner or later, either one side's going to drag you in, or you're going to drag it and pull yourself apart. And that is the part that really, really breaks somebody down.
And no shade, in my opinion, I just feel like Black queers in all fields, whether it's sports, business, we take over, okay? Because I feel like people be sleeping on it. But like, I feel like, I'm sure you were the best. Obviously, you were the best. So that's just what it is. But what is Lamont doing now? Like, where can we find the people? Where can people find you? And what are you doing now? Like,
where can we find the people?
Right.
Well, Lamont now, Lamont is the name that I carry in the dance industry. So I am now pursuing my craft as being a professional dancer, as well as I live in Las Vegas. So I also work security out here for high-end events, so concerts and things of that sort. So I love to network. I love to connect with people. I love to build brands and go from there. So you can catch me either on the dance floor at, a dance event promoting some choreography, or if you ever want to come out to a pool event, hit my line because I'll be working security. So,
okay. So will Lamont ever be back on the field? Can we expect that?
No. that chapter of my life definitely has been closed for a couple of years now. So, yeah. But can you see me on the field coaching? Possibly. Okay. Can you see me on the field being a correspondent to the sport? Possibly. I love that. Yeah. That I can see. That I definitely can see.
I see you having a child, and they're going to be like, Dad, I want to play baseball. And then
couple kids.
Oh, let's get it.
I want a couple babies.
Let's get it.
Okay, it's giving Venus and Serena.
I love that. Was anything else you want to say to the people, Lamont?
Not anything I can think off the top of my head. I want to thank you guys so much for allowing me to come on this platform. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening to my story. It truly means, it really means the world to me, especially the fact being that you guys are my first interview since playing that anybody has given me a platform to express my story. So that is great. And if you guys want to know more, follow me on Instagram at official Lamont D, and you guys can catch me there, and also on TikTok. So
okay,
yeah.
come on, TikTok. I was gonna say, you be dancing? Okay. Well, Lamont, thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you so much and sharing your story. We hope to have you back soon for another episode, okay?
Yep.
But without further ado, is your fave duo saying bye.